Hey guys, welcome to Urbanacharya. The topic for this video is how to deal with situations when you don't know the answer, especially when you are facing a panel. Let's take an imaginary situation, just for an example. You are facing an interviewer or a panel and trying really hard to think through. Your mind is failing and the pause is becoming awkward. Perhaps you are facing the most difficult question of your life and you're floundering for answers. What will you do in such a situation? How will you handle the situation? You and I know that this is not an imaginary situation at all. It's a pretty common situation. No matter how well prepared you are for an interview, there may be times when you will encounter a situation or a question that you simply don't know how to answer. Maybe the question is outside your area of expertise, or perhaps it's a hypothetical scenario that you haven't encountered before. Whatever may be the reason, it can be unnerving to face a question that you don't have a clear response to. I can understand that pretty well. Now, having said that, it's important to remember that everyone is facing this situation all the time, and there are strategies you can use to handle it with confidence and poise. Now, basis my 2 decades of experience working with various organizations and conducting thousands of interviews, meeting so many candidates, I'm going to share some tips on how to deal with this situation when you don't know the answer. Number 1, stay calm and composed. It's natural to feel anxious or nervous when you are facing a question you don't know the answer to. But try not to let your nerves get the best of you. Take a deep breath, pause for a moment, just for a moment, and collect your thoughts. Remember that the panel is not trying to trip you or trick you or make you feel uncomfortable. They simply want to assess how you can handle a difficult or an unfamiliar situation. That's about it. Number 2, ask for clarification. If you're not sure you understand the question, or if you need more information to answer that question, don't hesitate to ask the interviewer to clarify. This can buy you some time to gather your thoughts and may also help you better understand the question so that you can provide a more informed response. You might say something like, could you please clarify the question a bit? I want to make sure I understand it fully. And that's a great way to handle that situation. Number 3, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. If you truly don't know the answer to a question, don't try to bluff your way through it. Instead, be honest and transparent. You might say something like, that's a great question and I'm not entirely sure about the answer. However, here is how I would approach finding a solution or gathering more information. This shows that you are willing to be transparent and collaborative, and that you are willing to admit when you need more information or support, and that's a great virtue to have in a potential candidate. Number 4, use your critical thinking skills. Even if you don't know the answer to a question, you can still use your critical thinking skills to provide a thoughtful response. Consider the question from different angles and try to identify any relevant information or experience you may have that could help you approach the question with a response. You might say something like, while I don't have a direct answer to this question, I do have experience with a similar situation, and here is how I handled it. That is going to be a great demonstration of your critical thinking skills. Number 5, follow up after the interview. If you realize after the interview that you could have provided a better response to a particular question, don't be afraid to follow up with the interviewer. You might send a polite email thanking them for their time and briefly addressing the question you have struggled with. This can demonstrate your willingness to learn and improve, and can also provide an opportunity to clarify any misunderstanding or provide additional information. I hope this was helpful. To summarize, dealing with the situation when you don't know the answer can be challenging. And it's also an opportunity to demonstrate your critical thinking skills, your transparency, and your willingness to learn. By staying calm, asking for clarifications, being honest, using your thinking skills, and following up after the interview, you can handle these situations with confidence and grace. And lastly, remember, an interview is not just a question answer session. Even if you have not given right answers to many questions, how you approached a specific subject, how you managed to conduct yourself and deal with the situation would matter a lot. Please also focus on non-verbal gestures because they may give a lot of information silently to the interviewer without your knowledge. I hope you like this video. Please do share and subscribe this channel with your friends and people who may need this kind of information. We are always there to support you. I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Have you faced such situations in the past? And if yes, do write in the comment section, do share your experiences. And if you have any questions or clarification, do not hesitate to write us back. We'll be very glad and happy to answer all your questions and clarifications. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.